Hello, welcome to Scrap and Rabbit. This is Christine. Today I want to show you a mini album that I finished. It's a waterfall album. It holds quite a few photos. There are 6 double-sided pages in here with lots of pullouts. So let me take you through the album. The outside measures 7 inches across and it's 9 inches high. The spine measures 3 3/4 inches thick. So it's not a large album, but it is bulky, and there's room for tons of pictures in here. I counted quickly and there's room for 97 fair-sized photos on the pages and the large pull-out tags, and then there's also some more smaller pull-out tags in there and pockets and room for other pictures. Now on the cover I have some lace that I put over a fabric spine. I've got a little butterfly. This is actually a little pin that I attached there with little rhinestones on, little paper flowers and some ribbon roses, and this little flower with a button center, and there's little strands of beads on here. And then I have this nameplate. You can put a title or a date in there. On the side I used this upholstery fabric. It's really neat. It's all crinkly and it's very plain. So I just put a butterfly on there, and I had this die cut and I just stuck that on there. It sort of frames the butterfly. The butterfly has these little crystals on there. On the back, excuse me, I've got a die cut again with room for a date on there or a bit of journaling. This tutorial is available on my website at www.scrapandrabbit.com, and it's also available in my Etsy shop. I followed the instructions in the tutorial, except I made very few modifications, and I'll list those as I go. Now in my original tutorial I think the closure was a belt buckle, like a buckle and strap. In this one I just used some chain and hoop and toggle like that, so it opens very easily like that. And on the chain I attached these little beads that I assembled, like little chunky charms. So I'm going to be listing this on eBay, so I'll show the album in detail. So here's the first charm for the first set of beads, and here's the second one, and then there's another one here, and this one, and it's got a little hand at the bottom. So that's just a little ornament on the front cover. In the album, I guess I should mention the papers that I used for this one is I used a combination of 2 paper stacks that I'd already used in previous albums, and I wanted to use up some of the remnants. So rather than going out and buying another stack, I just used what I already had, and then I combined the 2 stacks that seemed to go together pretty well. There's this one I had, K & Company Que Sera Sera, and it's very colorful, sort of abstract-y type paper, and I combined it with this one called Meadow by Susan Wingate, also K & Company paper. And the Meadow is all about flowers, so this is an example of the beautiful paper that they have. I have a large photo mat that slides into a pocket. And here's the first waterfall, and I have these little flowers in there, little crystal center. Now this opens like that, and this 2-sided paper, so you can put a photo on both sides. So each of these waterfalls can hold up to 15 photos. Very colorful paper. Then on the side of each of the 6 pages there's a large mat. Now usually I mat 2-sided, but in this case it's pretty pink cardstock. I just left it plain because that way you can put a photo on there, or you can also journal if you want to use this as a combination photo album and journaling album. On the back here I have a double pocket, and I've got some bling, and the bottom pocket has 2 tags, and there's another tag here. And this opens like that, so there's room for a photo there and a large photo here. And I'll mention the punch that I used. This is a Martha Stewart punch. That one. I can't remember the name, but this is the one that I used to make the border on my tags and my flaps. And I also use the same punch to make the strap. So this is held closed with a magnet. And each of the pages has the same tag, so I won't pull them all out. Now there are 3 pages that have this flap and double pocket. The other 3 pages on the backs have this fold-up pocket, a fold-up flap, and there's a pocket on each of these flaps, and there's a large tag in there. So there's the next page. Very pretty colorful paper. This would be great as a summer album. And because it holds so many pictures, it's great as a themed album. So for example, I don't know if people still do this at weddings. Now everybody has their own digital cameras and their phones, but I remember people used to buy these disposable cameras and leave them on the tables for people to take photos at the reception. So this would be a really good album to collect those photos. And I think nowadays people more and more are printing out a lot of the photos that they take with their cell phones too. So you could also include those in here if you had a wedding album that you wanted with just casual photos. So there's the other flap. It's very pretty paper, and each of these waterfalls has a different colored flower. I won't go through each of the pages. Now, like I said, this tutorial is available on my website and my Etsy shop. And I basically followed the same instructions except for the closure. And the other thing too was the back of the pages. This flap here in my tutorial is just a plain flap. And this one, all I did is I added this pocket and the extra tag. So that's the only change. The only 2 changes I made to the when I followed the tutorial, the closure and the pocket flap. And there's the last tag on the back inside cover. So that's my album. I'm hoping to have it listed on eBay over the next few days if you're interested in purchasing it, or if you want to try your hand at making your own album like this, you can visit my website at www.scrappandrabbit.com. I'll include the links below in the description of this video, and it's also available in my Etsy shop, and I'll have links to my Etsy shop as well. The tutorial isn't expensive, it only costs $9.99, and so if you want to try your hand at making it, it includes the written instructions as well as a video. With the written instructions, I like including those because with the video you need access to your computer, and what you can do is look at the video once and then you can just refer to the written instructions as a reminder of how to follow different steps. It's got lots of photos in there too. So have a nice day and talk to you soon.